Good morning, everybody. I hope you're enjoying The 1,000-Year-Old Boy by Ross Welford. I certainly am. And this morning I'm going to start reading for you chapter 4. And what I really like, I love these sort of books where you have them written with different viewpoints, and all of a sudden you realise that you are going into a completely different character called Aidan, and everything in the book changes. Even the font has changed when you're reading it. So this is a little short bit that says Aidan. Let's see what it says. I should probably start by telling you why I'm hacked off. Get it out of the way, then we can get on to how I came to meet Alfie and my life changed forever. Good start. So this is now chapter 4, and it's entitled Whitley Bay, Present Day. You can look up Whitley Bay, it's north of here on the east coast, so see what you think. Okay, for a start, we've moved house. That's bad enough. But get this, number 1, it's a small house, much smaller, with hardly any back garden, just a scruffy yard that's way too small to kick a ball in. Mum has reminded me more than once that I'm lucky to live in a house with any outside space at all, and when she says that, I feel guilty. And sorry that I even mentioned it, because I know why we've moved. The thing is, my friend Mo, who lives in a flat, used to come round to our old house because he had no garden. But now, there's no point, is there? Number 2, if people come to stay, I will now have to share a room with Libby, who's a pain at the best of times. She's 7 and likes My Little Pony. Number 3, Inigo de Lombra, who's in my year at school, now lives in my old house. I think he even has my old room. He smirks at me every time I see him, as if to say, "You sad loser." At least I haven't had to move school, but with the way things are going with Spatch and Mo, I might as well have. Another thing, Mum and Dad are arguing all the time. They've always argued, bickering they call it, but lately it's become louder and they think I don't notice. It's money, always money. I don't know the details. All I know is that they've made a bad investment, and Mum says it was Dad's fault. Mum now works in a call centre and hates it. I found Libby listening at the top of the stairs the other night. She said, "Are they going to get divorced, Aidan?" I had to say, "No, of course not." Her chin wobbled, but she didn't cry, not in front of me anyway, which is just as well, because it would probably have set me off too. So with that lot out of the way, be honest. If some kid that you'd just met told you he was 1,000 years old, what would your reaction be? You'd laugh maybe and say, "Yeah, right." Or you might ignore him. Oh, I've lost my place for a little bit. I moved. Hold on a second. You know, don't provoke the nutter and all that. You could, I suppose, come back with a zinger like, "And I'm the Queen of Sheba." Okay, so I'm not big on zingers, but you get the idea. So when Alfie said to me, "Aidan, I am more than 1,000 years old," obviously I didn't believe him. And then I had to, because although it was unbelievable, it was the truth. But for it to make sense, I'm going to have to rewind a bit. And this is chapter 5. We moved in, me, Mum, Dad, Libby at the start of the Easter holidays, and everything was unpacked in 3 days. My Xbox was smashed in the move. I asked Mum if I could get another one, and she just gave me this sad-sounding little laugh, which I suppose means no. She said we had other priorities, and that made me feel bad for asking. I had the rest of the holidays stretching out before me. "Call up your friends, go down on the beach," said Mum every 5 minutes. Problem with that was Spatch was away in Naples with his Italian grandparents, where he goes every Easter. Worse, he'd invited Mo to go with him, and not me. I pretended I wasn't hurt when they told me, but I was. When I talked to Mum about it, she was all like, "Oh well, we couldn't have afforded the airfare anyway, so no harm done." But that's not the point, is it? Spatch was a bit embarrassed, I think. He said it was because there wasn't room at his grandparents' farmhouse, but I've seen pictures and it's huge. And besides, I'd have been happy to sleep on the floor. I nearly said that, but I'm glad I didn't. To put the tin hat on it, as Dad says, Auntie Alice and Uncle Jasper came to visit. Auntie Alice is okay, but Jasper, sheesh. I know Dad wasn't happy because I heard him moaning to Mum, "Can't they stay in a hotel, for heaven's sake? It's not like we've got loads of space." "She's my sister, Ben." Dad just tutted and rolled his eyes. So, day 4 of the holidays, Auntie Alice and Jasper had arrived that morning, and I had moved into Libby's room on an airbed. She was at Brownie Camp for the next couple of days, so at least I wasn't actually sharing with her yet, but still. We all sat in the kitchen amongst the boxes left by the removal firm. Dad's not working at the moment, so he was at home, and he made tea and asked about Jasper's boat. It's a safe topic, apparently. Mum fussed over Auntie Alice's blouse. Auntie Alice is much older than Mum, and Jasper is much younger than Auntie Alice, although, thanks to his beard, he looks older than both of them, if that makes sense. Auntie Alice had said how much I'd grown. Just about the only thing directed at me was Jasper saying, "And what about you, son? Are you getting enough of the old fresh stuff? You look like a flaming ghost." And then he grinned, showing his long white teeth, as if he didn't really mean it, but I could tell that he did. Auntie Alice said, "Oh, Jasper, he looks lovely." And Mum said to him with the faintest edge to her voice, "He's fine, Jasper, aren't you, Aidan?" I nodded vigorously, as if by nodding I could show my uncle that I was, to borrow one of his phrases, as fit as a lop. He went, "Humph," and added, "See here, a bit of the old Ventum Maris, that's what you need, son," then took a noisy slurp off his black tea. Black, no sugar. He talks a lot like that, does Jasper. So far as I can tell, he has no regional accent and no foreign accent either. At times he sounds slightly American, and at others more Australian, when his voice goes up at the end of a sentence, as if he's asking a question. It's hard to work out. He was born in Romania and has narrow dark eyes, almost black, behind tinted glasses, and he's lived in lots of countries. I asked him once where he was from. "Just call me a nomad," he said, baring his teeth. Between you and me, I was terrified of him. With my milk finished, and having heard the words "Prime Minister" come from under Jasper's beard, I figured it was time to make myself scarce. Once anyone mentions the government, the conversation, so far as I'm involved in it, is not going to improve. "I'm going outside," I said. and I got a grunt of what might have been approval from Jasper. Jasper sounds like an interesting character. I wonder where he's going to appear next. Sounds like he could be an important character to me. They've spent more time on him than they have on Auntie Alice. Interesting. Just things that might pop into your head as you are reading by yourself sometimes, isn't it? By the way, when I was talking about Auntie Alice, Alexa came on in the next room. You might have heard it. I think she misheard me. Anyway, till next time. Bye bye.